So one exercise that really helps is to copy songs I like and tweak them. One thing I struggle with a lot is coming up with new original song ideas or guitar riffs that I'm proud of. But sometimes I pick up my guitar and frankly, I just don't feel that inspired. I find myself falling into these patterns and just playing the same things over and over again, getting really sick and tired of playing and creating. And I look on Instagram or YouTube and I see all these amazing guitar players putting out these sick riffs over and over again, thinking like, how is this even possible? And that maybe I'm just not talented enough. Maybe I'm not cut out to be a musician or artist. Fortunately, after listening to countless interviews from my favorite artists like John Mayer and experimented a lot myself, I've discovered ways to make music even when inspiration is not quite striking, even when I'm not inspired. So today I want to share 3 simple exercises that have really helped me write music even when I'm not inspired. I'll also share real just examples of how I've actually applied the exercises to help me come up with ideas I find interesting when I was really struggling. So one exercise that really helps is to copy songs I like and tweak them, or copy parts of songs I like and tweak them. So when I pick up my guitar, I have nothing to say on it. One thing I would do is to set it down and then listen to songs I'm into at the moment and just kind of notice parts I like about the song. For example, it might be like maybe the overall structure, like, wow, this song keeps on building and building and changing. It's not like a regular pop song. Or I might notice the chord progression, like, wow, the major third here really gives it a very Latin feel. It's awesome. Or even just down to the individual instrument, like, wow, this slap bass line makes the song super dancey. It's really cool. And I find that after I do that and notice parts I like about a song, maybe a couple songs in, I pick up my guitar again and all of a sudden I have so much more to say, like so much more things to try, so much more chord progressions to try, so much more phrases to try. At the very least, doing this exercise would give you something new to start off with. And after that, I would actually take the ideas I noticed and play around with them on my guitar. For example, one day I was listening to one of my favorite John Mayer songs called Victoria, so I tried playing the progression on my guitar. And doing so inspired me to keep improvising in the key of C, which led me to coming up with this riff. So the popular advice to listen to more music is great, but it's more about being intentional about the parts you like about a song, copying those parts, and just playing around with them to see what happens, make them your own. I used to even keep like a Google Doc full of like parts I like about my favorite songs to make it more intentional. Another exercise that's really helped me is to switch up the instrument I'm playing. So I'm primarily a guitar player, but I also own a MIDI keyboard and then a bass. I'm not a good bass or keyboard player by any means, but it's precisely because of my lack of ability on those 2 instruments that make them great tools to generate ideas out of. I find that I'm able to be free from my habits on the guitar and just more purely create. I find that when I play a bass or keyboard, my ideas are way simpler and more melodic. And also since they're kind of unfamiliar instruments to me, I naturally find more sounds appealing and interesting. So it just makes me want to generate more ideas. So it gives me more to work with compared to when I'm just kind of playing around my guitar. This goes beyond switching to a completely different instrument. So I'm primarily an electric player, but I also own an acoustic guitar and a nylon string guitar. And again, when I play my acoustic or nylon string guitars, I'm able to be more free and just create and appreciate all the sounds I'm hearing and get more ideas out. Even if in the end I still end up recording the idea on electric anyway. It's just been a really powerful tool. The final exercise that's been really useful, especially when I'm writing guitar parts to a song, is to time box. So one time I was trying to write this epic guitar solo for a song I was working on with my band, and it was just super daunting, so I couldn't come up with anything beyond like one lick idea, like maybe 5 seconds in. So what I try to do is to time box. I give myself 30-minute time blocks with just using a timer on my iPhone, to kind of generate some lick ideas for solo. And at the end of these sessions, I would kind of see what licks I could use for the main solo and kind of string together these lick ideas for one giant solo. Yeah, and I'll just kind of record everything. I kind of recorded everything, all lick ideas on my iPhone, like again using the voice memo app. I find time boxing to be pretty great when it's something more specific. So in this case, there's already like a backing track for a song. Now I was just trying to see how this guitar solo could fit in. I find the time pressure of time boxing to really help me get out of my head and just focusing on generating as many ideas as possible, good or bad. Since at the end of half hour, I'm just trying to generate as many ideas as possible. That's the goal. Quantity of ideas versus trying to judge the quality of each idea. That's for me to decide later. It's pretty cool because I used to think music and art was just about inspiration striking, but I realized there are creative ways like this, like time boxing, that I could use to generate creative ideas. Coming up with something original is tough, and John Mayer is famous for saying how even though he wrote hit songs like Gravity, it's not at all a good indicator that he's going to do it again, that he's going to write another song just as good as Gravity. So I just try to focus on the process, doing these exercises, rather than trying to arrive at some final destination that I'm never going to get to. And the biggest takeaway I had from doing this video, doing all these exercises, is that it's really all about getting ideas out of your head, good or bad, and just that maybe in the 100 ideas that I've generated, maybe one will become a hit. And all the best artists out there don't always have the best ideas too. For example, a couple of years ago, Kurt Cobain of Nirvana, his widow, Courtney Love, released a produced album full of ideas he recorded on his tape recorder back in the day. And frankly, they didn't sound that good, or rather, they felt rather incomplete. So it must have been the same challenge for him too. Like, even though he wrote all these great hit songs like Smells Like Teen Spirit, but it's not definite proof that he's going to do it again every single time. Another thing I realized was that there really is no bad idea. Even a cliche riff can become like a great song depending on how the person hears and develops the idea. Again, so like Kurt Cobain, the song Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana, it kind of starts out just with 4 basic power chords and a basic strumming pattern, but then it launches into this crazy distorted section, and then before dying down to this kind of really sparse guitar riff. And it's this whole progression that makes it sound super awesome. So listening to all these great songs from all these great artists made me appreciate kind of the beauty in each idea. And it just depends on which idea I'm more into at the moment. So that gives me a lot of relief and motivation to continue. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys find something valuable in these exercises, and let me know what you guys do to get unblocked when you guys are not feeling inspired in the comments down below. On this channel, I also post some of my own covers and originals, so feel free to check them out. I'll see you in the next one.